Hospitals, places of healing, hope, and often, final goodbyes. They are where life begins and where it tragically ends. But what if those who pass on don't leave entirely? Haunted hospitals carry a strange allure. The sterile hallways, the echo of footsteps, the quiet hum of machines, it's as though the walls themselves are alive, holding on to the trauma and sorrow of those who once lingered within. Medicine has always been intertwined with the mysteries of life and death, making hospitals fertile ground for the paranormal. Once, a nurse in a quiet night shift described a chilling experience, an apparition of a former patient standing at the end of the hall, staring silently before vanishing. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the stories surrounding these places are impossible to ignore. Today, we'll journey through 10 of the most haunted hospitals worldwide, where whispers in the dark still tell tales of lives once lived. Stay until the end of video as we will discuss why are hospitals so frequently associated with hauntings and real-life encounters. 10. Severals Hospital, England. Located in Colchester, England, Severals Hospital opened in 1913 as a psychiatric facility. It quickly gained infamy for its cruel treatments, including lobotomies and electroconvulsive therapy, which were commonly used on patients deemed difficult. The hospital remained in operation until 1997, but its dark history continues to haunt the site. Visitors have reported eerie occurrences, including disembodied voices, slamming doors, and the sound of footsteps echoing through the abandoned halls. Shadowy figures have been seen darting through the corridors, and some claim to have encountered full-body apparitions of former patients. One of the most chilling stories involves the ghost of a nurse who is often spotted in the hospital's wards. She's said to appear suddenly, only to vanish moments later. Paranormal investigators have also captured EVPs of faint voices calling out for help. Severals Hospital's long history of pain and suffering ensures its place as one of the most haunted hospitals in the world. 9. Sai Ying Pun Psychiatric Hospital, Hong Kong. Built in 1892 as quarters for European nurses, the Sai Ying Pun Psychiatric Hospital in Hong Kong was later repurposed as a mental asylum. During World War II, the building was reportedly used as an execution ground by Japanese soldiers, adding a darker layer to its already grim history. The hospital closed in 1971, but its paranormal reputation has endured. Many visitors have reported seeing the ghostly figure of a man engulfed in flames running through the corridors, believed to be the spirit of someone who perished in one of the Japanese executions. Disembodied voices and unexplained footsteps are common, as are sightings of shadowy figures lurking in the corners. The building's top floor is said to be particularly haunted, with reports of an intense feeling of dread and the sensation of being watched. Some visitors claim to hear faint screams and sobbing coming from the empty rooms. Sai Ying Pun Psychiatric Hospital remains one of Hong Kong's most haunted locations, drawing thrill-seekers and paranormal enthusiasts from around the world. 8. Ridges Asylum, Ohio, USA. Located in Athens, Ohio, Ridges Asylum, originally known as the Athens Lunatic Asylum, opened in 1874 and operated for over a century before closing in 1993. The asylum is infamous for its brutal treatments, including lobotomies and isolation, which led to a high number of patient deaths. One of the most famous legends of Ridges Asylum involves a patient named Margaret Schilling, who disappeared in 1978. Her body was discovered weeks later in an abandoned ward, and the stain of her decomposing body remains visible on the floor to this day. Visitors report seeing her apparition wandering the halls and hearing faint weeping from the area where she was found. The asylum's graveyard, where hundreds of patients were buried in unmarked graves, is another focal point of paranormal activity. Ghostly orbs, shadowy figures, and unexplained sounds have all been reported by those brave enough to visit the site after dark. The lingering spirits of Ridges Asylum ensure that its dark history will not be forgotten. 7. Pennhurst Asylum, Pennsylvania, USA. Originally opened in 1908 as the Pennhurst State School and Hospital, this Pennsylvania institution was designed to house individuals with mental and physical disabilities. Over the decades, it became overcrowded and infamous for its horrific mistreatment of patients. Abuse, neglect, and inhumane conditions were common until the facility was finally shut down in 1987. Today, Pennhurst Asylum is a hotspot for paranormal activity. Ghost hunters and visitors often describe hearing the anguished cries and laughter of former residents echoing through the abandoned hallways. Shadowy figures are frequently spotted darting across rooms or lurking in the corners. The most haunted area of the asylum is said to be the tunnels connecting the buildings, where visitors have reported sudden chills and the feeling of being followed. Some even claim to have captured EVPs of voices whispering, "Help me." The asylum's grim history of suffering and death makes it one of the most haunted locations in America. 6. Gonjiam Psychiatric Hospital, South Korea. Located in Gyeonggi Province, Gonjiam Psychiatric Hospital is considered one of South Korea's most infamous haunted locations. Opened in the late 1990s, the hospital abruptly closed in 1996 under mysterious circumstances. Rumors abound that the hospital's director fled the country after a series of unexplained patient deaths, leaving the facility to decay in eerie silence. Today, the hospital is a popular site for urban explorers and paranormal enthusiasts, despite being off-limits due to safety concerns. Visitors report a heavy, oppressive atmosphere that seems to grow stronger the deeper one ventures into the building. Many claim to hear whispers echoing through the empty halls, doors slamming shut on their own, and chilling cries of anguish that seem to come from nowhere. One of the most disturbing legends involves the apparition of a nurse wandering the corridors, her face twisted in anguish. Others have reported feeling unseen hands grabbing at them or experiencing unexplained dizziness and nausea. Gonjiam Psychiatric Hospital's dark and mysterious history, combined with countless eerie encounters, cements its place as one of the most haunted hospitals in the world. 5. Taunton State Hospital, Massachusetts, USA. Taunton State Hospital, built in 1854, was originally intended as a facility for treating the mentally ill. However, its history took a dark turn in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when rumors of mistreatment and sinister activity began to surface. Patients often endured harsh treatments such as hydrotherapy, prolonged restraints, and electric shock therapy, practices that have left a haunting imprint on the building. One of the most chilling aspects of Taunton's history involves a group of staff members allegedly practicing satanic rituals in the basement. Witnesses have described strange symbols etched into the walls, along with accounts of shadowy figures lurking in the dark. The basement is now considered one of the most paranormally active areas of the hospital. Visitors and ghost hunters have reported overwhelming feelings of dread, sudden temperature drops, and the eerie sensation of being watched. Disembodied voices, shadowy apparitions, and the sound of footsteps echoing down empty hallways are common occurrences. The spirit of a young girl has been seen wandering the grounds, her spectral form said to vanish as quickly as it appears. Taunton's sinister history and countless deaths make it one of the most unnerving haunted hospitals in America. 4. Ararat Lunatic Asylum, Australia. Arradale Lunatic Asylum, located in Victoria, Australia, opened its doors in 1867 as a sanctuary for the mentally ill. But with over 13,000 deaths reported during its 130 years of operation, it became a place of unspeakable suffering. Patients endured cruel treatments such as lobotomies and electroshock therapy, leaving behind a legacy of pain and despair. Today, Arradale is a ghost hunter's dream. The women's ward is known for its frequent paranormal activity, with visitors reporting sudden chills, disembodied voices, and apparitions of patients in old-fashioned hospital gowns. One of the most chilling experiences is the sound of faint cries echoing through the halls, believed to be the lingering spirits of those who suffered there. The morgue is another hotspot for ghostly encounters. Paranormal investigators have captured photographs of shadowy figures and recorded unexplained whispers during their visits. Some visitors have even claimed to feel an unseen presence pushing them or pulling their hair. Arradale's dark history continues to fuel its reputation as one of Australia's most haunted locations. 3. Old Changi Hospital, Singapore. Old Changi Hospital, located on a hill overlooking the Changi coastline, was built in 1935 as a British military hospital. However, its transformation during World War II sealed its haunted reputation. The Japanese used the hospital as a torture and execution site during their occupation of Singapore. It's said that the spirits of those who suffered unimaginable horrors still linger within its walls. The faceless ghost of a woman is one of the most commonly reported apparitions. She's been seen gliding silently through the hospital's corridors, her presence accompanied by an intense chill. Spectral soldiers have also been spotted, standing at attention as if awaiting orders. Visitors have reported hearing blood-curdling screams and the clanging of chains in the dead of night. Some have even felt invisible hands tugging at their clothing. Paranormal investigators have recorded EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, of distressed voices pleading for help. The hospital's eerie atmosphere and dark history make it one of Asia's most infamous haunted locations. 2. Beelitz-Heilstätten Hospital, Germany. Nestled in the forests of Brandenburg, Germany, Beelitz-Heilstätten Hospital was built in 1898 as a sanatorium for tuberculosis patients. It gained historical notoriety during World War I when a young soldier named Adolf Hitler was treated there for a leg wound. During World War II, the hospital served as a field hospital for wounded soldiers. After the war, it fell under Soviet control, and its eerie decay began when it was abandoned in the 1990s. Today, Beelitz-Heilstätten is a crumbling labyrinth of forgotten medical equipment and peeling paint, a perfect setting for paranormal activity. Urban explorers and ghost hunters have described strange occurrences, including disembodied footsteps echoing in the empty halls and faint whispers carried on the wind. Some have even claimed to see the ghostly figures of soldiers wandering the premises, as if still seeking medical help. The operating theaters are particularly chilling. Many visitors report an overwhelming sense of dread, as if they are being watched by unseen eyes. One notable encounter involved a group of explorers hearing the metallic clang of surgical tools being dropped, only to find the room empty. Beelitz-Heilstätten's haunting legacy as a place of both healing and death continues to draw thrill-seekers from around the world. 1. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Kentucky, USA. Perched on a hill overlooking Louisville, Kentucky, Waverly Hills Sanatorium was built in 1910 as a response to the tuberculosis epidemic that swept the nation. In its early years, it was a beacon of hope, with innovative treatments for the time. However, the battle against tuberculosis was largely unsuccessful, and the sanatorium became a house of despair. Over its operation, thousands of patients perished, their deaths haunting the halls to this day. The sanatorium's most infamous feature is its body chute, a tunnel used to discreetly transport the deceased down the hill to avoid distressing other patients. It's here where visitors report chilling encounters, shadow figures darting across the tunnel, eerie footsteps following them, and whispers in the dark. Room 502 is another hotbed of paranormal activity. Legend has it that a nurse hanged herself in this room after discovering she was pregnant and unmarried, a scandalous situation in those days. To make matters worse, another nurse reportedly leapt to her death from the very same window years later. Visitors have claimed to see her ghost staring forlornly out of the window, while others report sudden drops in temperature and hearing her footsteps echoing in the corridor. Waverly Hills is also said to be home to the spirit of a young boy named Timmy, who is often seen playing with a ball in the sanatorium's hallways. Investigators and visitors alike have witnessed the ball inexplicably rolling across the floor. The echoes of laughter and faint cries of former patients make this sanatorium one of the most haunted places in the world. The stories behind the spirits. Why are hospitals so frequently associated with hauntings? Many believe they act as liminal spaces, thresholds between life and death. Residual energy from intense emotions like fear, sorrow, and pain could imprint on the surroundings. Others suggest that spirits linger due to unresolved trauma or their attachment to a place where they faced their final moments. The sterile walls, endless corridors, and history of loss create a perfect setting for the unexplained. Real-life encounters. Those who've dared to investigate haunted hospitals often leave with unforgettable stories. A ghost hunter in Waverly Hills described hearing a little girl giggling before a ball rolled towards them, despite being completely alone. In Old Changi, security guards have quit after seeing shadowy figures darting through hallways. Such encounters leave an indelible mark, turning skeptics into believers and fueling humanity's fascination with the unknown. Explore the unknown. What is it about haunted hospitals that sends shivers down our spines? Is it the stark reminder of our mortality or the lingering spirits of those who never got to say goodbye? Share your own experiences in the comments. Have you ever encountered something unexplainable in a hospital or a similar setting? Let's unravel the mysteries together and keep the conversation alive. Until next time, stay curious and stay brave, because the unknown is closer than you think.